Now, most of you already know that the SA inflation is currently sitting at 6.3%. Now, this came after, of course, we saw these 6.3% beating what analysts expected, and that is, of course, an expectation of inflation coming at 6.5%. These made a lot of consumers or a lot of investors to be really excited because it looks like inflation in South Africa, it is declining much faster at a greater pace than that which analysts expect, which is always a good thing, right? I mean, this is the very same thing we are seeing in the US or in America, where we are seeing, of course, inflation coming quite sharply than what analysts expect. I mean, this previous week we saw inflation in the US coming at 3%, which was better or far better than what analysts expected, as analysts were expecting inflation at coming at 3.1%. So this is good news because, of course, we saw the markets in the US sort of like recovering, also the rand or the ZAR recovering, because it looks like inflation it is heading towards, of course, the 2% that the US looks forward, or that the Federal Reserve is targeting there in the US. Now, you know, locally, the SA Reserve Bank is targeting an inflation of between 3 and 6%, and the upcoming, of course, inflation that is coming on Wednesday, analysts are expecting inflation to come at 5.6%, which, if the South African inflation comes at 5.6%, then that is good news, or that will be the good news which will trigger, of course, the SA Reserve Bank to not increase interest rates on Thursday. As you know, that after the core CPI or the inflation figures come out on Wednesday here in South Africa, on Thursday we are to expect an interest rate decision coming from the SA Reserve Bank, of which 12 out of 21 analysts are already seeing the SA Reserve Bank not increasing interest rates, not decreasing, but just remain at where the interest rate is, which is something that obviously, if we get to see that, it will be very good to the SA markets. Now, personally, I believe that we are going to see indeed inflation coming below 6%, which will be a good thing because, as I said, the SA Reserve Bank's target on inflation is between 3 and 6%, which, of course, anything above or below 6%, it is considered to be good, which does not mean that though we are out of the spider web yet, and probably the Federal Reserve will still need to act towards that to bring inflation even much further down, which, of course, if we are to get to see good inflation figures, and that is the inflation figures of 5.6%, or that is SA inflation coming at 5.6%, then that might trigger the SA Reserve Bank to pause increasing interest rates, which will be a good thing. But before we dig deep into this video, you already know that this video is just an entertainment video and not a professional financial advice video. Now, I would really appreciate if you can just hit the likes button if you are enjoying the content that I'm giving you about what's coming on Wednesday, and that is the cost of living figures, or the CPI figures, as per the Statistics SA, which those are the figures which are really important this coming week because they can break or make the SA stock market. So if you like this video, hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell so that at least to get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. So without wasting any more of your time, I'm looking forward to Wednesday. I really want to see, of course, inflation coming below, of course, the 6%, in fact even beating that 5.6% as per what analysts expect, because if we are to see inflation beat that, then chances are very high that on Thursday, as the 12 analysts out of 21 believe, we are not going to see the SA Reserve Bank increasing interest rates on Thursday, which will be a good relief to, of course, the consumer, because I must say interest rates in South Africa are already high, which, of course, increasing those interest rates or hiking or introducing another hike might be a very bad thing, or might cause a serious damage not only to our economy but to also the consumers who are having long-term loans or bonds or car loans and all the other loans like credit card, to having to pay or having to see increase in their repayments on whatever loan they had or they have, which is not good at all. So I'm closely monitoring that, or I'll be closely monitoring the CPI figures or the inflation figures which are coming on Wednesday, because that will be the determining factor, I personally believe, that will make or that will influence the decision by the SA Reserve Bank. So I personally believe that inflation might beat that which analysts expect, and that is 5.6%, because one of the things that has been sort of like recovering our economy is, of course, the prices of fuel, which have been in the same place for quite some time. I mean, we have not seen any fuel price hikes recently, which is supposed to be good, because one of the main contributors to inflation is, of course, the prices of petrol, prices of diesel, which the fact that we are getting to see that at least not being that bad or not increasing aggressively, it is a good take to say that inflation most definitely will also, of course, cool down or drop below 6%. That is something that, of course, I personally believe that we're going to see that. But nonetheless, the most important day, or another most important day this coming week, is Thursday, because Thursday, ladies and gents, if we get to see another increase, then it will be bad for those that are investing in stocks, or those that, of course, have loans, like I said, which we all need, or what we need is actually a rate cut instead of a rate increase, which, of course, when it comes to the first SA's Reserve Bank cutting interest rates, it's not something that we are not going to see now, because inflation is still a problem, and what they are striving for is obviously to bring inflation down, probably close to that 3% and not closer to the 6%. So chances are we might see actually inflation, or we might see increase in interest rate hikes probably sometime in this second half of 2023, as, of course, we are seeing the US proposing, because regardless of the US inflation now at 3%, the Federal Reserve is still, of course, hinting to increase interest rates, but they won't be that aggressive, but they are still going to increase interest rates, which is something that we might see even locally here, where we'll see, of course, the SA Reserve Bank maybe not aggressively increasing, but continue increasing interest rates, trying to make sure that inflation at least gets to, of course, the lower end of their target, and that is the 3%. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I just thought I'd just give you this quick update. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. And once you subscribe, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey. And don't forget to hit that like button if you did enjoy this video. Otherwise, God bless you all.